Race number 3, $15,000 claimers, 3 and up, which have not won 3 or 3-year-olds with any number of victories. The condition for this 6-furlong sprint. And we've seen 2 favorites so far take the first 2 races. And if the favorites to win here, it's going to be Satchel de Riches. 6-5, even right now, seems like a legitimate number on him. If he shortens up in price, would not be surprising to go even money or less. A son of Country Day, who does have a win in one of his last 2 races. In his last start at Churchill Downs, he was just in too tough. He was 10-1 that day. The tote board reflected that in that starter 50, and he ran into a horse by the name of Senior Hobim, who finished second in that race at Churchill Downs on September 25th and won here just this past Saturday for Steve Asmussen. So you've got to respect the drop down in class. He's a horse that possesses speed when he's put in the right level, and in these sprint races, don't expect him to be involved in this race. I do expect him to be involved in this race straight out of the starting gate, Satchel de Riches. So Tyler Gaffalione gets the call. A lot of reasons to like him on the drop, win 2 back, and comes out of a live race. The number 5 horse, Lupaloo for Chris Hartman. Another one that's got some speed. We'll see what Mitchell Merle is able to do for Chris Hartman, who continues to have a wonderful meet here at Keeneland Racecourse. He's stepping up in class off of that race at Belterra for 12-5, but the fact that Hartman is spotting him here, you've got to be encouraged by this spotting of this 3-1 shot right now. So a son of Curlin, another straightforward angle. He's got speed. He comes out of good races. No reason to think that he can't be competitive here today for $15,000. And then the number 6 horse, Tight 10 for Steve Asmussen. We'll cut back in distance. We'll see how he fares against these sprinters. Gabby, I just wonder if he's quick enough to go with the 2 horses I just mentioned, but you've got to respect a horse that's made $131,000 that's running for $15,000 here today. It's his second try at this level in consecutive races, and we saw him last 2 months ago at Lone Star Park. We've seen Steve bring quite a few, not a lot, but enough horses from Lone Star up here to Keeneland. We'll see if he fits against this group. Likely will be running on late, and Ricardo Santana Jr., his rider, is looking for back-to-back wins on the card.
Yeah, Scott, it looks like you and I agree with the top selection with the number 4, Satchel de Riches, but beyond that, we kind of disagree underneath. So maybe that's the way to play this race. If you really do like the 4, maybe key him on top and an exacta or trifecta and throw in some of those prices underneath to try to make money in this race. But the 4, Satchel de Riches, I agree with you. I think he is certainly the horse to beat. He's got speed. He's got Tyler Gaffalione. It's Mike Maker. The duo has teamed up for many a victory so far at this fall meeting, and this is just the right placement for this horse. He tried starter $50,000 competition last time out at Churchill Downs. He was part of a very fast pace in that race, and then he pretty much faded to beat one horse in a much tougher event, but his race 2 starts back would certainly put him in the winner circle, and he has a good mid-pack post position to get the right type of trip. So I did think that he was one of the more logical favorites on today's card. So he is going to be the top pick here. The number 9, Olsen, though, I like in second, and right now on the board at 11-1 for Jason Barkley. I think you can give this horse a bit of a pass for his last race. It was against Allowance Company at Indiana Grand. I thought it came up pretty tough of a race. Even prior to that, it was a tough race at Ellis Park. That was an allowance race, but it was off the turf. Honestly, his one most impressive race was sprinting on the turf. I wonder if ultimately he is a better turf horse than dirt horse, but he certainly should be a factor at this level, as he does take a big class relief, in my opinion. And then finally, the number 3, Atmos for trainer Dale Romans. This horse has kind of been competing at the bottom. $10,000 claimers last out, $20,000 claimers start prior to that too. And he's been kind of showing speed and fading at 7 furlongs. So I kind of just like this horse that he's making a lateral move and he's getting a shorter distance today. I don't think he really wants to go 7/8, and maybe 6 furlongs can help turn things around for this horse with the slight cutback. The 3, Atmos, I'll use in the mix, and he's live on the tote board right now at 3-1. But the 4, Satchel de Riches, is the horse to beat at 7-5. Favorites have taken the first 2 races. We'll see if that trend continues as we're 13 minutes out from the third.
Horses are entering the track for Keeneland's third. 3-year-olds and up, a $15,000 claiming price, 6 furlongs over the fast main track. Double and pick 3 wagering, carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot, $41,618. Scratch number 8, Bowsen. Scratch the 8, Bowsen. Post time coming up in just 7 minutes. Once again, a reminder that today at Keeneland, the only race which remains on the turf is race 6. Again, race 6 remains on the turf. Otherwise, everything else is on the main track today.
Another heavy favorite on the board right now at 6-5. That's the 4 horse. And I have nothing negative to say about the favorite. He's definitely the horse to beat and probably the horse to catch in this particular race. So we'll talk about some alternatives here that I thought made a nice appearance trackside. And one of them is the number 9 Olsen for trainer Jason Barkley. I mentioned this horse that he's getting a class relief. And, you know, that could maybe do the trick. He just looked great on track. I like the outside post for him. He's a horse that's on his toes. He's feeling good. He certainly possesses a little bit of early speed, so he should be able to sit that stalking or that pressing trip from the outside and overall maintaining very good flesh. It's oftentimes we do see that to be the case for Jason Barkley's horses in the afternoon. They always look very well turned out, and it's no exception with this horse, the number 9 Olsen at 9-1. And then the number 5 Lollapaloo. You know, this is his third start off of the long layoff. He came in off of a long layoff June 2019 to August of 2020, and he happened to win that race off of the long layoff. So an excellent job by Chris Hartman getting the victory off of that layoff and having this horse prepared and ready to go. Now, he is fast, and he definitely looks like a sprinter. I think it's interesting, though, that, you know, he's a horse that seems to hold a little bit of condition. Maybe he regressed a little bit last time out, but I think he should be able to be sitting on one of his better performances, and he's a horse that has back class. I mean, it took him a long time to break his maiden, but he was running into the low 90 Beyer speed figures, high 70 Beyer speed figures, so he's got a little bit of class and quality to him, and maybe he can step up here this afternoon. The 5 Lollapaloo, I thought, made a sharp appearance on the track as well at 3-1. But all eyes on the 4 Satchel to Riches as the 6-5 favorite. We're 4 minutes out from the third.
Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's third race. They are at the post, and they're off. There goes Lupaloo. Lupaloo outrunning for the lead. Satchel to Riches is there in the opening strides. Olsen up on the far outside moves up to press the issue now as well. Lupaloo has the lead, though, by 3/4 of a length and moves over down toward the inside. Olsen goes to second up on the outside as the field heads up the back stretch. Grand Atlantic is third outside of Satchel to Riches in fourth, who now takes third a half length, just 2 lengths off the leader into the far turn. Tight 10 is placed toward the outside, running in the 5th position. There goes Atmos moving by 1 spot from 6th, and a break of 3.5 more lengths to Sparky Surprise, who's next to last, and Bourbon Native is the trailer. 22.47 seconds the time for the opening quarter. Lupaloo leading Olsen by 3 lengths, and Satchel to Riches, who's third, now taking second upon the outside. Satchel to Riches coming after Lupaloo. Atmos is there toward the inside behind that front pair, looking for some running room from third, but the front pair past the 8th pole, and Satchel to Riches is right alongside of Lupaloo. Lupaloo fighting on. Satchel to Riches is there. These two past the 16th pole as a team. Lupaloo stubborn. Satchel to Riches is second. Lupaloo, Mitchell Merle win it by a half length over Satchel to Riches second, and then it was Atmos across the line third, followed by Tight 10 in fourth, and Bourbon Native in fifth.
The speedster Lupaloo stops the clock in 1:10.3 as he cleared the field down the backstretch. But then here comes the favorite, Satchel to Riches, and just about the time it looks like Satchel to Riches is going to go on. A bit of contact here, and Lupaloo able to come back on and get this victory for Chris Hartman and Jackie Rojas.
It's hard to see if the 5 Lupaloo comes out or the 4 Satchel to Riches comes in. But, Scott, there was definitely some bumping and some contact coming down the stretch. So we'll see if anybody looks at this particular race. But there's no doubt about it, the 5 Lupaloo was very game here today.
Unofficial results of Keeneland's third. The 5 Lupaloo finished first. 4 Satchel de Riches finished second. 3 Atmos was third. 6 Tight 10 was fourth. And 2 Bourbon Native fifth. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2 unofficial. Objection pending. More in a moment. At Keeneland, the rider of number 4, Satchel de Riches, the unofficial second-place finisher, has lodged a claim of foul against the unofficial winner, number 5, Lupaloo, alleging interference in the stretch run. Hold all tickets. Objection pending concerning the top 2 and the unofficial result. On the television monitors at this time, the split screen, the program feed to the left, steward's view to the right. Hold all tickets. Objection pending. No change. Result will stand as is. No change. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2. That result will stand. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's third race, 5 Lupaloo, owned by Jackie Rojas, trained by Chris Hartman, Mitchell Murrell, the jockey. Lupaloo, a 5-year-old gelded son of Curlin, out of Ullapool by Langfuhr, bred in Kentucky by Stone Street Thoroughbred Holdings, LLC. 6 furlongs over the fast main track, 1 minute 10.76 seconds. The results are official for Keeneland's third race. 5, 4, 3, 6, 2, the official results. Keeneland's fourth race upcoming, double and pick 3 wagering, start of the pick 6. No carryover for the pick six. There is a carryover for the Super High Five jackpot, $43,952. In this fourth race, scratch the 2, hard to access. Again, scratch the 2, hard to access. Race 5, scratch 3, parking ticket. Scratch 4, Honey Parade. Again, scratch 3, parking ticket. Scratch 4, Honey Parade. Overweight, the 1 Tia floor, the jockey 2 pounds over. Race 6 remains on the turf, which is listed good. The rail at 20 feet. Scratch part of entry 1A on a spree. Scratch the 10 Power Player. Scratch the 14 Eskin for it. Again, scratch part of entry 1A on a spree. Scratch 10 Power Player. Scratch 14 Eskin for it. Please note number 13, Kaziranga, draws into the race. There is a jockey change for number 6, Stage Ready. That'll be Rafael Bejarano. 6 Stage Ready, Rafael Bejarano, the jockey. And again, race 6 remains on the turf. 7th race, jockey for the 1, Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez. Number 1, Lemon Chill, the jockey, Colby Hernandez. Featured 8th race has no changes. The 9th and final race comes off the turf, goes 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. That's the 9th and final race off the turf, 1 mile and a 16th main track. Scratch 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. Scratch 3, Incitatus. Scratch 8, Coastal Waters. Scratch 11, American Patrol. Scratch 13, Majestic Summer. 14, Ghost Lighter. 15, Flat Reward. And 16, Swingman. Again, scratch the 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. Scratch 3, Incitatus. Scratch 8, Coastal Waters. Scratch 11, American Patrol. And scratch 13 through 16. Jockey change for the 12, American Tryst. That will be Julien Leperoux. Number 12, American Tryst, the jockey, Julien Leperoux. Main track listed fast.
Race number 4, 19 minutes to post. This race does start the pick 6 for this Thursday, October 22nd card at Keeneland Racecourse. Scratch out the number 2 horse, Hard to Access. War Ensign is where I begin for Buff Bradley, a daughter of Midshipman, who ran a solid race on debut at Churchill Downs, was 9-1 on the afternoon, but was part of that race early on, made a bit of a middle move, and then ended up finishing third, beaten 5 lengths. If this filly can take a step forward here today with that run under her belt, she should be awfully live against this group here today as she's wheeled back for 30. So with that race under her belt, look for War Ensign to take a step forward here in race number 4. The 6-horse Spun Run for Norm Cassie, a filly by Hard Spun, who comes in with several workouts here at Keeneland Racecourse. In fact, a good one out of the gate in 59-4. Being aggressive with the spotting of this daughter of Hard Spun for the Mary Lou Whitney stables. Joe Talamo gets the opportunity here today. You've got to respect this horse on pedigree as well as jockey and workouts alone. So not surprised that she is sitting at 7-5 right now, as the folks that are playing this race are looking for a new shooter, perhaps up against those that have already run, hoping that they can't take that next step forward. And then Platinum Hallway for Tracy Glover, a daughter of Run Happy, a Keeneland graduate. The reason I went here, Gabby, just looked at the mare, Majestic, the daughter of Sensational. She was a first-out winner. She was stakes place, so perhaps she'll translate that precocity to her offspring here this afternoon, as this will be her first runner, the first runner from the first dam, Majestic, the daughter of Run Happy. Platinum Hallway gets Aubrey Green today. She's a big price of 22-1. So 3, 6, and 8 in a race that you either lean on first-time starters or you go off of a horse that ran okay on debut and gets that race under their belt.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes this race a little bit tricky. But, you know, I didn't think that this was the toughest maiden $30,000 race that we've seen at Keeneland. So I did think that there was an opportunity for a first-time starter to win. I will be honest, I'm a bit surprised that this horse is as low on the board as she is at 7-5, but she's by Hard Spun out of a Smart Strike mare. She's got a precocious pedigree, and she certainly appears to be fit and ready to go to win at first asking. So I just thought that this was a manageable field for a first-time starter to, you know, be a factor in here. So I did land on the 6 Spun Run as the top pick, but her biggest threat, in my opinion, is the 1 Just Life. Now, she's going to have to work out a trip from the rail, but she takes a big drop in class. Now, her first race was against maiden special weight competition at Keeneland here, and that was going against Off We Go. Off We Go, I can remember her debuting for trainer Tom Amos at Churchill Downs. She finished a good second. She showed a lot of speed that day, and she came back with one race underneath of her belt, showed speed again, and was much the best in that last race, just especially considering how the race was run. So Off We Go, I think that was a pretty tough maiden special weight race. Some talented fillies in that field. So I do think that this is a pretty significant class relief that the 1 Just Life is getting. I'm hoping, though, that she can show a bit more speed coming out of the gate with one race underneath of her and that race experience. She'll have to from that rail post position if she's going to be a factor today. And then finally, the 7 Presley's Rifle for trainer Nick Zito. Blinkers going on her today, and you know, she was okay in her debut. It was against maiden $50,000 company, so I didn't think it was the biggest class relief when you compare some of the other horses and who they recently faced. But I do think that she's at least going to be a pace factor here. With the blinkers on, she's pretty covered up in terms of the equipment and the blinkers on, and she at least showed a little bit of early life in that last race. So with the drop in class, with the blinkers on, and Gabe Saez in an outside post, I do think she could probably be quick out of the stalls today. The 7 Presley's Rifle will be the 3rd selection. But the betting public on the 6 Spun Run at 8-5, the first-time starter in this maiden $30,000 claiming event, coming up next.
Horses are entering the track for Keeneland's fourth race. Double and pick 3 wagering, start of the pick 6. No carryover for the pick 6, but there is a carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot, $43,952. Scratch the 2, hard to access. 2 hard to access is scratched. A reminder that race 6 is the only race that stays on the turf. Race 6, the only race that remains on the turf. The turf is listed good. Keep in mind, therefore, that the 9th and final race comes off. Race 9 will be contested at 1 1/16 on the main track. Pick 6 players, keep that in mind. Post time at 7 minutes.
Maiden $30,000 claimant event coming up next to kick off the pick 6 this afternoon. And here's the 6 spun run. The first time starter at 7-5, a filly by Hard Spun. And she just certainly looks well prepared here today. She looks fit, ready to go. She looks sharp too. She was shying away from the pony a bit here this afternoon. But other than that, she's acting very professionally, and I have no negative things to say about this favorite here. She looks well. She looks sharp. So it looks like she certainly looks like the filly to beat in here at 7-5. But I'll check in with the second time starter, the number 3 War Ensign for trainer Buff Bradley. Watching these fillies in the post parade, I just thought that she had a lot of bounce to her stride. She has her ears forward. She looks like she's focused on the task at hand as well. So from a physical perspective, and also just watching their behaviors on track, I actually thought that she was one of the better looking fillies here on track. The number 3 War Ensign had a good look to her on the board right now at 3-1. Scott, did you have any final thoughts on this upcoming fourth?
I spoke to Andrew McKeever, the trainer of the one horse Just Life, who is 5-1 right now, and he said he was disappointed in her debut. They thought that she would give a little bit more based on her workouts than what she gave them. So he said the sensible thing to do is to drop a horse in class in that situation, and that's what they're doing here today. Also asked him about the rail draw. He says that it's not ideal because she's a filly that has some gait issues, so she's going to have to overcome the inside post and maybe not being the sharpest away from the gate. So something to keep in mind when playing Just Life, or if you're considering playing Just Life, at odds of 5-1. This race does start the pick 6. You've got 4 minutes to sort those tickets out.
Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's fourth race, start of the pick six.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
They are at the post. And they're off. Spun Run was off a step slowly. There goes Just Life, scooting up the rail for the early lead. Presley's Rifle is there on the far outside with some early speed as well. Is he on point away third? And then Goody Two Sioux and Spun Run are moving as a team out in the center of the track, now up into that front line of traffic. In the meantime, Izzy On Point's going to back off into the fifth position. Platinum Holloway is sixth, and War Ensign last of the seven. It's 23.12 seconds the time for that opening quarter. Just Life, Goody Two Sioux, Spun Run far outside. Those three separated by a neck around the far turn. Presley's Rifle has lost some ground to that front trio, is fourth, and now 3 lengths off the lead as they turn for home. Izzy On Point has to go wide from fifth. Top of the stretch, Spun Run is out in the center of the track. Moves forward to put a head in front. Goody Two Sioux is between horses, and Just Life is fighting on to the inside. Izzy On Point tries to join that front threesome. Now moves up on the far outside. Spun Run has a narrowed lead, but Izzy On Point is coming after Spun Run. These two at the front, and Izzy On Point has a narrow lead past the 16th pole. Izzy On Point, Chantel Sutherland to win it. Spun Run was across the line in the second position, followed by War Ensign in third, Just Life in fourth, and Platinum Holloway fifth.
Izzy On Point, the daughter of Point of Entry, in her second career start, breaks through for maiden 30, coming from off the pace after a spun run, had an adventurous trip, didn't break sharp, and then was forced wide. It stayed in the race. That was a nice debut from this filly, but it is on point, able to come over the top for the victory.
Yeah, spun run appeared to kind of get off awkwardly and then had to press about 4 wide, but all considering where the rest of the pace setters finished, it was a good performance by the 6 spun run. The 5 is on point, just getting a beautiful setup under Chantel Sutherland today. 5-6-3 unofficially here in the 4th.
Unofficial results of Keeneland's 4th race. 5 Is He On Point was first. 6 Spun Run was second. 3 War Ensign third. 1 Just Life was fourth. 8 Platinum Hallway fifth. 5-6-3-1-8 unofficial. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's 4th race, unofficial winner number 5, Is He On Point, owned by Galen McGee, trained by Scott Gellner. Chantel Sutherland, the winning jockey. Is He On Point, 2-year-old filly by point of entry out of Poligny by Holy Roman Emperor, bred in Kentucky by John and Frank Penn. 6 furlongs over the fast main track, 1 minute 13.79 seconds. Results of Keeneland's 4th now official. 5-6-3-1-8. The official results for Keeneland's 4th race. Keeneland's 5th race upcoming. Double and Pick 3 wagering, start of the late Pick 5. Carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot, $45,613. In this 5th race, scratch 3 parking ticket, scratch 4 Honey Parade. Again, scratch 3 parking ticket and scratch 4 Honey Parade. Overweight, the 1T of floor, the jockey 2 pounds over. Race 6 remains on the turf, which is listed good, rail at 20 feet. Scratch part of entry 1A on a spree. Scratch 10 power player. Scratch 14 Eskin for it. Again, scratch part of entry 1A on a spree. Scratch the 10 power player and scratch 14 Eskin for it. A reminder, number 13, Kazi Ranga, draws into the race. Also, there's a change of jockey for the 6, Stage Ready. Rafael Bejarano. Rafael Bejarano, the jockey for 6, stage ready. 7th race, jockey for the 1, Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez. That's the 7th race, jockey for the 1, Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez. Featured 8th race has no changes. 9th and final race. Race 9 comes off the turf, goes 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. Race 9 off the turf, 1 mile and a 16th, main track. Scratch 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. Scratch 3, Incitatus. Scratch 8, Coastal Waters. Scratch 11, American Patrol. Also scratch 13, 14, 15, and 16. Again, scratch 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. 3, Incitatus. 8, Coastal Waters. Scratch 11, American Patrol. And scratch 13 through 16. The jockey for the 12, American Tryst, will be Julien Leperoux. 12, American Tryst, Julien Leperoux. Main track listed fast.
20 minutes out from race number 5 here at Keeneland. This race does start the late pick 5 for 50 cents. A couple of scratches take out the 3 and the 4. You're looking right now at the number 6 horse. That is the favorite, TMI, my top selection in here. Just one of these mares and runners that you like to see and easy to root for, like to see them come out each and every time because they just show up. She's run 44 times. She's got 14 victories, 7 seconds and 7 thirds. She's made over $278,000 the hard way in those 44 starts, and she's found good form over the last couple of years. You consider she's 7 years old. 12 of her 14 victories have come between the ages of 6 and 7. So the light bulb has certainly gone on for this mare by Cyclotron, a California-bred mare, and Seven Arms Stable owns her. She was a winner last time out at Indiana Grand on the turf. She can win on dirt. The bottom line is you just bring her out there, ask her to sprint, and she's going to settle off the pace and kick on for you. Marvin Johnson, the conditioner of this mare, has her second time under his care. It's not surprising she's at 8-5. All you want is consistency in a racehorse, and this filly is as consistent as they come. So watch out for TMI to settle just off of it and ask for some run to kick on and potentially pick up this victory in her Keeneland debut. The number 5 horse is my second choice in this spot. That is an 8-1 shot right now, Sunset Paula Joe. She's a filly that might be able to outrun the favorites in here for Donnie K. Von Hemel. A mare by First Dude. She's winless in 6 attempts this season, but she shows up here for the 20 tag in consecutive races. She was in the same level last time out and running for the tag, and she was only beaten a nose going 6.5 furlongs. So potentially the cutback in distance will aid her in able to pull off an upset at odds of 8-1. I do think you've got to respect her if you're playing the late pick 5, but certainly you do not leave the 6 out of your late pick 5 ticket. And then the number 7 horse, Princess Trina for Kelly Martinez and Armando Martinez. They sprung an upset in here in recent days at Keeneland, did Kelly and Armando with a 15-1 shot. And this is a horse that was claimed for $8,000 in September. They took him back over to Prairie Meadows where he put in the one workout and has been training and worked 59-4 at Prairie Meadows over in Iowa. Shows up here in a tougher spot. You've got to respect the spotting by Kelly Martinez for D&L Farms. And we'll see if Princess Trina can spring an upset at odds of 11-1. But Gabby, clearly this race goes through the number 6 horse, TMI, the 14-time winner.
Yeah, 14-time winner, a very classy individual. But I actually did land on the 7, Princess Trina, on the board at 11-1. I'm actually surprised that she is so high on the board right now because she's a filly that's in very good form, and I think she's got some upside here. First off, the claim for trainer Kelly Martinez. She has gone against some pretty good competition at that particular level. Even Heaven's Whisper several starts ago at Churchill Downs. You talk about consistency, and you definitely want that attribute in this particular race, and you definitely get that with the 7, Princess Trina. Well posted to the outside. I think she should be able to get a stalking trip in here. And the number 8 horse, Keep Your Distance. She does take a big drop in class for trainer Robertino Diodoro. We mentioned this time and time again. Diodoro with 6 victories so far at this meet, and David Cohen has been aboard all of them. So aggressive placement here with this horse. They claimed her for $25,000. She's obviously eligible for this condition. She's not eligible to be claimed in this race, so protecting her, all good signs, I think, with a little bit of a class relief from her last effort here at Keeneland. And then finally, the number 9, Shackelford County to the outside. She, too, is a speed play, in my opinion, even with less distance today. She's been going longer distances as of late, but the cutback in distance looks like it could be preferred for her. You look at some of her sprint races before, and she might not be the same mare she once was, but at least her last race is encouraging, coming into this race off of a 5-length victory. She sprinted before in the past and held her own against much tougher competition, so I thought she had a very logical look. I saw this race much differently than what the board is predicting. The 6, TMI, I certainly respect her. I would probably use her in the late pick 5 sequence, but there are a couple of class droppers. There are some mares in here that are super consistent and very classy individuals, so I didn't necessarily see one particular horse being such a heavy favorite as the 6. as the 8-5 favorite. So in my opinion, I would have coverage in the first leg of the pick 5 and try to find a single later and consolidate that ticket in later races. I thought this was a wide open betting race, and if the 6 does go off as a heavy favorite, well, that means you can get a better price on some other contenders in this field. 8-5 on the 6, 15 minutes out from the 5th to start the late pick 5.
Horses are entering the track for Keeneland's 5th race. Starter optional claiming race for a price of $20,000. Fillies and mares age 3 and up, 6 furlongs over the fast main track. Double and pick 3 wagering start of the late pick 5. Carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot, $45,613. Scratch 3 parking ticket. Scratch 4 Honey Parade. Overweight, the 1 Tia Floor, the jockey 2 pounds over. Late pick 5 players, a reminder that race 6 remains on the turf. Race 9 comes off the turf and goes 1 1/16 on the main track. Keep that in mind. Post time at 7 minutes.
Classy group of fillies and mares now getting set for their warm-up, and in the midst of it as we are 6 minutes away from the start of the late pick 5. And let's start with the 2-horse Smokin' Hot Mama. Chris Richard, the trainer of this mare, looking for his second win on today's card. She looked well when she came out. I like the way that she was handling herself when with the pony, and as she warms up now, she comes out of some strong races at Canterbury where she was part of the pace. I think the backup in distance, the cutback in distance will be an advantage to her. Watch out for her based on the way that she looks, and she's a big price right now on the tote board. That's Smokin' Hot Mama, Brian Hernandez Jr., another positive when it comes to the 2-horse, who is 13-1. The number 5 horse, Sunset Paula Joe, another one that had a nice attitude when coming out, 8-1 for this daughter of First Dude. She has plenty of experience here at Keeneland and success. I think that's one of the notes that you must take on her when you look at her form versus the other fillies and mares in here. She's run 3 times with a win, a second, and a third, and recently comes off of that defeat where she was beaten by Parking Ticket in the latter stages of that race on the 8th of October. You've got to expect that also the cutback in distance should be a plus for the number 7 horse in here. And then finally, let's go to the outside, the number 9 horse, Shackelford County, for Juan Cano, a mare that was claimed for $10,000 at Churchill Downs. That was going a route of ground. She's run some good sprints as of late. She's another one of these mares in here that just seems to show up each and every time as of late, and she looks well out on the track as well with that race just about a month ago over at Churchill Downs. And it certainly is encouraging that Florent Giroux gives the call to this mare here today. So a good group headlined by the number 6 horse TMI, who's been in such good form over the last couple of seasons. You've got 5 minutes to play the late pick 5 here at Keeneland.
Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's 5th race, start of the late pick 5. They are at the post, and they're off. Smokin' Hot Mama comes out running for the lead. TMI has early speed as well, comes away second, but there goes Keep Your Distance moving by her, and now Keep Your Distance moves on by for the lead. Keep Your Distance goes to the front. Shackelford County going to go with her into second. Smokin' Hot Mama shuffled back into third. Princess Trina is in fourth. Tia Floor is fifth into the far turn. TMI has dropped back into the sixth position, outward from the rail, 6 lengths off the lead. And Sunset Paula Joe is last of the 7, 22.47 seconds. The time for the opening quarter. Keep Your Distance against the rail leads it by 3/4 of a length. Shackelford County is second, 3/4 of a length. Princess Trina is third, trying to move up to the far outside off the far turn. Then a gap of 5 more lengths back to Sunset Paula Joe and TMI, who've got work to do. Keep Your Distance has the lead. Shackelford County trying to come after her. Those two going at it past the 8th pole. Then a gap of 3 more back to TMI. Princess Trina toward the inside, and then Sunset Paula Joe 5th. Back up front, Shackelford County wrestling the lead away from Keep Your Distance. Shackelford County wins it for Florent Giroux. Keep Your Distance had to settle for second, 1 minute 10.92.
Florent Giroux in the perfect spot with Shackelford County at odds of 5-1 right off of the pace setter. Keep Your Distance as the Diodoro and David Cohen train just continues to click here at Keeneland, but not enough to hold off Shackelford County in the end.
Absolutely. This mare got a perfect trip on the turn back in distance today. First off, the claim for trainer Juan Cano and Florent Giroux with a brilliant ride today, 9.86. And this race, race 5, some nice prices if you had the winner.
Unofficial results of Keeneland's fifth race. 9, Shackelford County finished first. 8, Keep Your Distance was second. 6, TMI was third. 5, Sunset Paula Joe was fourth. And 7, Princess Trina fifth. 9, 8, 6, 5, 7, unofficial. And the winner's circle for Keeneland's fifth race. The unofficial winner, number 9, Shackelford County, owned by Olivia Morales, trained by Juan Cano. Florent Giroux, the jockey. Shackelford County, a 5-year-old mare by Shackelford, out of American County by Gibson County, bred in Kentucky by Mike Tarp. 6 furlongs over the fast main track, 1 minute 10.92 seconds. Results of Keeneland's fifth official, 98657, the official results. At Keeneland, the early pick 5 pays on 5 of 5 with a consolation 4 of 5. Sixth race coming up, double pick 3 and start of the late pick 4. Carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot, $46,889. Race 6, the lone race, which remains on the turf today. Turf is listed good, the rail's at 20 feet. Scratch part of entry 1A on a spree. Also scratch the 10 Power Player and scratch 14 Eskinfort. Again, scratch part of entry 1A on a spree, scratch 10 Power Player, and scratch 14 Eskinfort. A reminder, 13 Kaziranga draws into the race. There is a jockey change for the 6, stage ready, Rafael Bejarano. Rafael Bejarano rides the 6, stage ready. Again, the turf listed good. Seventh race, jockey for the 1, Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez. That's in the 7th race, jockey for the 1, Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez. Featured 8th race has no changes. 9th and final race comes off the turf, goes a mile and a 16th on the main track. Again, that's the 9th and final race. Off the turf, a mile and a 16th main track. Scratch the 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. Scratch 3, Incitatus. Scratch 8, Coastal Waters. Scratch 11, American Patrol. Also scratch 13 through 16. A reminder, the jockey for the 12, American Tryst, will be Julien Leperoux. That's the 12, American Tryst, jockey Julien Leperoux. Fun Sucker is third up on the outside. War Eagle's Love is fourth back toward the inside. But in the final furlong, this is all Mizzen Air and James Graham to make a statement to start the card. Mizzen Air, much the best. So they come to the final furlong. Obsessed has the lead, though. Beachwalker trying to rally up from the outside to catch Obsessed, as Patriots War is now third. Obsessed a 2-length lead past the 16th pole. Obsessed by 2.5. Obsessed and Ricardo Santana Jr. to win it. But the front pair past the 8th pole, and Satchel to Riches is right alongside of Lupaloo. Lupaloo fighting on. Satchel to Riches is there. These two past the 16th pole as a team. Lupaloo stubborn. Satchel to Riches is second. Lupaloo, Mitchell Merle to win it by a half length over Satchel to Riches second. Spun Run has a narrowed lead, but Izzy On Point is coming after Spun Run. These two at the front, and Izzy On Point has a narrow lead past the 16th pole. Izzy On Point, Chantel Sutherland to win it. Keep Your Distance has the lead. Shackelford County trying to come after her. Those two going at it past the 8th pole. Then a gap of 3 more back to TMI. Princess Trina toward the inside. And then Sunset Paula Joe 5th. Back up front, Shackelford County wrestling the lead away from Keep Your Distance. Shackelford County wins it for Florent Charoux.
"18 minutes away from the late pick 4 and our lone turf race of the afternoon. They'll be competing over a good listed turf course here this afternoon. And we'll start with down the second choice, the 11-horse By Your Side for Anderson Stables, a Keeneland graduate from 2018, purchased for $240,000 as a yearling from the September sale. Eddie Keneally is the conditioner of this colt. He's run 2 credible races on turf in his last 2 starts, including a third behind Segoy, who we saw pick up an allowance victory last week here at Keeneland. That was the race at Ellis. And then this colt followed that up with a good run at Kentucky Downs against Two Other Than Company. I think just a replication of either of his 2 starts, and the fact that he's got Florent Charoux is good enough to make this horse a serious contender in a very good turf event. So watch for By Your Side to just continue that progression that we've seen from him on the grass in his last 2 efforts. The number 1 horse, the part of the entry that remains, Artie's Rumor for Mike Maker. Mike Maker at it again with these claiming horses. He claimed this 5-year-old for $40,000, steps him up in class into Two Other Than Company. He's a horse that will be stretching out from 7 furlongs at Kentucky Downs to a mile and a 16th. Gets a beautiful draw with Ricardo Santana Jr., who Mike Maker has had good success with through the years, and especially this season. They're striking at 31% as of late when Maker taps on the shoulder of Ricardo Santana Jr., a 9-time winner, so a horse with a lot of class and has made over 213,000. Can't disrespect the one at 4-1. And then Sabador for Connor Murphy, the 8-horse, my third play, also comes out of a race in which he was defeated by Segoy, the winner that I referenced with my top selection, who won here last week at Keeneland. This horse could be the quickest in here. He's a 6-year-old, lightly raced horse for the most part, Gabby. He's only a 2-time winner from 17 starts, and those victories came overseas. He's winless in 5 starts here in the United States, but today might be the day if he can shake loose from them over this good listed turf course.
Scott, I had a tough time with this race when I originally sat down and handicapped it, and I think it's even more complicated now after looking at some of these horses in the paddock. There are some classy, good-looking horses today. Man, this is a tough race. I hope if you played the late pick 5 that you had coverage in this race, because I do not think that it is straightforward by any means. The number 5 Flapjack is where I land. He's 26-1. I figured he would be a big, long price in here. And that's how I think you should probably approach this race. Why not get a little bit crazy and have some crazy opinions? I like this horse at 26-1. And why? I don't necessarily think that he is a turf sprinter, but he still has been performing well against high-quality turf sprinters as of late. His last race was actually quite good. He was only beaten a little over 3 lengths at 37-1 in the Grade 3 at Kentucky Downs. Prior to that, even in his race at Saratoga in the Grade 3 quick call, I thought that was a pretty good race, all considering, and a solid group there in the Grade 3 up at Saratoga. You look at his back class, and even last year at Arlington, he managed to finish second against maiden special weight competition going the mile on the turf. So, you know, I actually think he's probably a better horse going a distance of ground. It's still going to be a question of class, but I'm willing to take a shot with a horse that is a big price. I think from watching his previous races, he just kind of maintains at the sprint distance. But with added distance, I think he should be able to be more forwardly placed and maybe not be so one-paced at 2 turns. So Flapjack is the top pick for me as we go to the 7 Current. I don't know what to do with this horse. I respect him at 3-1, and I think you have to use him cautiously in the late pick 4. But I wasn't crazy about his last race. He was 2-1. He figured in that allowance race. He seems like a horse that's probably better going longer distances on the turf, and he really just wasn't a factor. I didn't think that was an easy race, but it was much easier than what he has been facing as of late. It's not a grade 1 type of race. So he really does need to turn it around. And I'm not sure if he can do it at this particular distance. Is he better at a mile and a 16th, or is he better going longer distances? So there are too many question marks surrounding the 7 Current for me to settle on him as potentially the favorite in this upcoming race. And then finally, the number 8 Sabador. You have to respect this horse from pace and speed alone. I think he can stretch out his speed to a mile and a 16th. He certainly was okay last time out against a good group at Churchill Downs over a good listed turf course at the mile last time out. Segoy, the horse that won that race, he would come back and win. He's gone against some pretty serious competition, and maybe he is sitting on his best performance today and his 4th start off of that long layoff for trainer Connor Murphy. But some other horses that just kind of caught my eye in the paddock, the 13 Kazarenga, I thought made a lovely appearance, as well as the 4 Bundabanan for trainer Nacho Correas with the blinkers on today. So yes, I just think that this is a very, very deep field. You can see the 13 Kazarenga, who draws in off the AE at 28-1. The pace scenario is interesting. I think the 8 is probably the fastest horse early, but it might be a cavalry charge late. I thought this was definitely the best betting race on the card. It's a tough one, but if you're right, I think it will definitely pay well. The favorite on the board at 7-2 Current, 12 minutes out from race 6 to start the late pick 4.
Horses are on the track for Keeneland's sixth race, the Glen Oak. An allowance for 3-year-olds and up. Mile and a 16th over the turf listed good. This is the only race to be contested on the turf course today at Keeneland. Rails at 20 feet. Scratch part of entry, 1A on a spree. Scratch the 10 Power Player. Scratch 14 Eskin for it. A reminder, 13 Kaziranga draws into the race. Change of jockey for the 6, stage ready. Rafael Bejarano rides the 6. Double pick 3, start of the late pick 4, carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot, $46,889. Post time 7 minutes.
Six minutes to post on our turf race of the afternoon, race number 6 at 1 mile and 1/16th on the good listed going. And this is a good-looking group of runners. I'm going to start with the number 2 horse who draws the rail, Fighting CB, who's 8-1 right now. He looks ready to go off of this 10-month layoff. This is a colt by Summerfront who was debuted at Ellis Park last July for trainer Kenny McPeak and won that day at odds of 7-1. He won the With Anticipation Stakes, beating a nice horse in Field Pass in his next start. And then the Step Up in Company in the Bourbon Stakes, he just didn't show the same sort of speed that we'd seen from him in the past. But he draws the rail. We'll see if Fighting CB is ready to go here. From an appearance perspective, he looks just fine out there at odds of 8-1. The number 3 horse, Silver Inlay, for Tom Amos, another good-looking horse. There he is, a gray son of Liaison. Liaison runners win at about 10% on the turf, and obviously this horse has established himself that he is going to be better on the grass course with his last several runs. And if the 2 horse who draws the rail, because Silver Inlay is right next to him, If the 2 doesn't break sharp, don't be surprised if David Cohen is able to take the lead early on in this race over the good listed going, which is a good position you want. Oftentimes it's hard for horses to close on turf courses with a lot of moisture in it, and it remains to be seen what this turf course is going to be like because we have not seen horses run on it since last week. The number 6 horse is the next one I'd like to discuss, Stage Ready for Ron Marquette. I just thought he looked good, bottom line. He's a son of More Than Ready who comes off of a victory last time out. 2 starts back, he was well beaten against the Other Than Company on the turf course, which was listed as good at Churchill Downs at 1 16th. That was not a good race, but he was a huge price on that afternoon. So we'll see what Stage Ready is able to do here today at another big number of 35 to 1. Sabador, the number 8 horse for Connor Murphy. Nice looking gray. 6-year-old gelding, obviously a mature horse running against some younger horses here today, so you've got to respect that as he tackles this group over the good listed turf with Corey Lannery in the saddle. And it's surprising that he's still at the price that he is. He's just clicked down to 14 to 1, so took a hit from 16 to 1 to 14 to 1. And then lastly, the number 11 horse at 7 to 2. That is making him one of the favorites in here. There are 3 horses at 7 to 2 in a wonderful betting race. By your side, he's very sweaty, bottom line, but it is a hot afternoon here today at Keeneland as temperatures have been dipping up and down as far as whether or not the sun is peeking out through the clouds or behind the clouds as it is right now. But he is plenty warm, a son of Constitution. Maybe he'll be revved up from the outside draw. He just drifted up to 4 to 1 as we see the 1 for Mike Maker come down to 3 to 1. Artie's Rumor taking over favoritism for just a moment. It is nearing post time for the start of the late pick 4 here at Keeneland.
Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's 6th, the Glen Oak, start of the late pick 4. They are at the post. And they're off. There's Sabador from between horses. There's Silver and Lay down toward the inside. Silver and Lay comes forward. Flapjack moves up. Sabador toward the outside. And Kaziranga is now fourth out in the center of the course. Fighting CB is fifth back toward the rail. Then comes High Promise in sixth as they enter the first turn. Back up front, Silver and Lay, the early leader. Silver and Lay against the rail, leads it by just a length. Sabador second on the outside, 3/4 of a length. And then Flapjack in third by 2. Fighting CB is fourth by just ahead. Kaziranga fifth on the outside by 2 lengths. High Promise is sixth. And then Artie's Rumor, seventh down toward the inside. By your side, out toward the center of the course in eighth, toward the center of the pack. Current, ninth down toward his inside. Dune of Pila is in 10th. Boondi Boonin is 11th, stage ready, is last of the 12. 23.04, 47.63, the opening splits as they head for the far turn. Silver and Lay, the leader. Silver and Lay leads at 3/4 of a length. Sabador is second up on the outside, second by just a length. The Flapjack third, 3/4 of a length. Kaziranga fourth on the outside. Fighting CB fifth down toward the rail. High Promise alongside of that one is still 5 from the front. By your side, going to have to go wide, 7 lengths off the lead as they round the far turn. Silver and Lay leads it by a length off the turn. Sabador second a length, and then Kaziranga in third. High Promise looks to the outside in fourth. Fighting CB is in need of running room in behind horses, changing lanes now toward the outside from fifth. Here's Kaziranga. Here's Artie's Rumor running late toward the inside. Kaziranga, Artie's Rumor. Dune of Pila runs late on the grandstand side. Here's Artie's Rumor trying to forge to a narrow lead. Late charge from Boondi Boonin. What a finish. And at the line, it is Artie's Rumor who prevails for Ricardo Santana Jr.
Mike Maker at his best claims this horse for $40,000 for David Studeker and Paradise Farms, jumps him up into this 2 other than group, which was a very good group of runners, and he comes away with the victory, his 10th career victory, a 5-year-old son of Artie Schiller, Artie's Rumor, the number 1.
And this horse was bet today in a very complicated race. He actually went off at 3-1. I guess the bettors are smarter than we are. And a race like this, just go with what works. And what works is Mike Maker on the turf. Congratulations to the connection. Some troubled trips in this race today. I think it's definitely worth revisiting. But no doubt about the winner, Artie's Rumor, working out the perfect trip with Ricardo Santana Jr.
Photo for the win. Hold all tickets. Unofficial results of Keeneland 6th. 1 Artie's Rumor first. 2 Fighting CB second. 3 Silver and Lay was third. 4 Boondi Boonin was fourth. And 11 By Your Side, fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 11 unofficial. Sixth race results official 1, 2, 3, 4, 11. The official results for Keeneland sixth. Official winner of race 6, the Glen Oak 1, Artie's Rumor. Owned by Paradise Farms Corporation of Peter Proscia. Owned also by David Stodiker. The trainer is Mike Maker. 2 wins today for the jockey Ricardo Santana Jr. Artie's Rumor, a 5-year-old gelded son of Artie Schiller. Out of Not Just a Rumor by Yes It's True. The winner bred in Iowa by River Ridge Ranch. Mile and 16th over the turf listed good. 1 minute 44.19 seconds. Keeneland's 7th race upcoming, double and pick 3 wagering. Starts the last of the day's rolling pick 3s. All remaining races to be contested on the fast main track. Race 7 will finish in the short stretch at the first wire. The jockey for the 1 Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez. 1 Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez, the jockey. Featured 8th race has no changes. There will be a carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot of $54,633 on that 8th race. 9th and final race off the turf. It goes 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. Again, race 9 off the turf, 1 mile and a 16th main track. Scratch 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. Scratch 3, Incitatus. Scratch 8, Coastal Waters. Scratch 11, American Patrol. And scratch 13 through 16. A reminder, the jockey for the 12 American Tryst is Julien Leperoux.
Race number 7, 50,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 lifetime. They'll be back on the main track as we will for the remainder of the card here today at Keeneland Racecourse. And this is fillies and mares 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 lifetime, as mentioned. I thought this was a 2-horse race, and I went 2 and 6, leading with the number 6 horse, who is currently sitting at odds of 3-1. That is Flower House on the outside. Comes off of a second-place finish with Florent Giroux in the saddle. I'm hopeful that Florent will be aggressive from the outside draw. I think that will be the game plan for Brian Williamson here today, and jumping this horse up for 50 after that run for 30 is certainly encouraging. The presence of Florent Giroux was more than enough weight for me to go in that direction over the number 2 horse, who is the current favorite, Kiss More at 3-2. She's going to take the drop down in class. Tyler Gaffalione, certainly his presence is a plus, and she comes out of a live race. She was 4th behind Regal Beauty, who won back here, or run here at Keeneland just back on the 14th of October. I guess the biggest question is, why not give her another try against Other Than Company and drop her in for 50? That would be the concern. But here she is in her 18th career start, looking for that second lifetime score that has been elusive since trying Allowance Company in her last several starts. So we'll see if the dip down in class is enough to wake her up here today. And then my bet's the number 4 horse for Phil Sims. Fan of the barn, fan of the move, running for maiden special weight at Thistledown, get that victory. Don't be too aggressive and put this horse in an allowance spot. Instead, drop in for 50 here today in spots in which she's been competitive. You look at her first couple of races, 20 and 50. She was right there in the end in both of them. So watch out for my bets if you're looking for a price play as my third selection here for race number 7, Gabby.
Well, Scott, I'm not surprised to see the number 2, Kiss More, as the heavy favorite in here. I really did think that she was a bit of a standout. She comes out of a tough race last time out. That was an allowance race, and all considering, I thought she ran okay at 42-1. Now, the winner of the race, Regal Beauty, she came back to win that race, but she won a 2 Other Than Allowance at Keeneland, and she got a fast figure for that. So that allowance race was tough. It's been productive, and I think the connections are just being realistic with her. I don't mind the added distance to 2 turns today. She's navigated it fine before in the past, and I do think that at this distance she should be able to control on the lead. So unfortunately short price, but I'm not surprised she is 3-2 on the board. The 3, Sugar Love, is the only other filly in here that I think could maybe keep her honest on the front end. It's been a long time since she stretched out to a distance of ground. You have to go back to last year with Rusty Arnold when she was going against maiden special weight competition. She too is dangerous. She's dropping out of an allowance race last out at Kentucky Downs, although I did think that race was quite good, and some of her turf races are actually, they seem like they're a little bit better than maybe even her dirt races, but at this level, I do think she should be competitive, and at this distance, she should be able to keep the favorite honest on the front end. And then the 6, Flower House for Brian Williamson. You know, this is a filly that she dropped to the $30,000 level last time out, and she ran okay. I like her in third. She's logical to run into the mix here, but I did think that this race came up pretty tough with all of these clash droppers. I think it's significantly tougher than that $30,000 race that she ran in last time out. But she at least could be a factor here early. And I think that's important since this is kind of a shorter field, and we do have the main contender, the 2, Kiss More, could be controlling on the front end. So at least she's got the speed to sit close early at the 2-turn distance today. The 2, Kiss More, will do it for me as the favorite here in the upcoming 7th race. We are 15 minutes out.
Horses are entering the track for Keeneland's 7th race. Fillies and mares age 3 and up, a $50,000 claiming price. 1 mile over the fast main track. Race will finish in the short stretch at the first wire. Double and pick 3 wagering starts the last of the day's rolling pick 3s. This does begin an all-main track. Pick 3 to close the day. The jockey for the 1, Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez. For 1, Lemon Chill, Colby Hernandez. Race 7 coming up in just 8 minutes.
Seven minutes away from race number 7, final pick 3 opportunity of the afternoon. And the 1 horse at 4-1, Lemon Chill for 10 Strike Racing, on her toes as she feels good in the post parade, ready to make the turnaround and break off for her warm up. Make it Colby Hernandez, as we've mentioned to you over the course of the afternoon. That's the rider change on the 1. But a nice looking filly by Lemon Drop Kid. She was scratched out of a race last week in favor of this race here today. So you got to respect the move by Bentley Combs on the Keeneland September graduate as she looks for her second lifetime victory, as do all of these fillies in here. The number 4 horse, My Bets, she looked nice out there too. She had nice pep as far as in the post parade as she gets ready for her warm-up. The daughter of Include for Phil Sims, who's led over here a handful of runners and looking for that first win on the meet, and has her well spotted, I think, off of that maiden special weight victory for $50,000. So I think it's a positive sign that she's in for 50, because he could have easily been a little bit more aggressive with her off of a win at Thistledown, in my opinion. But here she is, and looking well enough at a big price, 12-1. She's the longest shot on the board. And then finally, Flower House for Brian Williamson. She's my top play. A good-looking filly as she warms up here. Daughter of Istan, 1 for 10 in her career, and her last 2 races have been good. Like I said, I think that we're going to see Florent Drew ask for something from her from that outside draw as she's going the mile here today with the short stretch. If she can establish a good position going into the first turn and relax down the back stretch, I think that she'll have herself well within striking range of this very wide open race. And that's what it is. It's race number 7, 50 claimers. The tote board tells you that 2 may not have a chance and the rest do. The 1, 2, 3, and 6 all very close in the win wagering here for race number 7.
Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's 7th race. First wire. They are at the post. They're off. There goes Grayson's Macho Gal outrunning for the early lead. Kissmore comes away second down toward the inside. Then Sugar Love right alongside of that one in third as they head into the first turn. Grayson's Macho Gal was determined to get that early lead and has it now against the rail clear with a 2-length advantage around the first turn. Sugar Love 1 lane off the rail, second 3/4 of a length. Kissmore is third a length. Flower House ducked out at the start, now has settled down straight in course, moves up a lane off the rail in fourth as they hit the backstretch. Lemon Chill got shuffled back one position there into fifth, and My Bets is last. Opening quarter, 23.6 seconds. Up the backstretch they go at Keeneland. And it is Grayson's Macho Gal on a 3-length lead. Sugar Love is second by a length and a half. Kissmore, third by 3/4 of a length to Lemon Chill, and fourth 3/4 of a length. Flower House fifth on her outside, and My Bet's at the back. First half mile went in 47.37 seconds. To the far turn they go. Grayson's Macho Gal has a 4-length advantage here. And then Sugar Love in second by a half length. Kissmore third up on the outside. Lemon Chill is still fourth. Flower House still back there in fifth. And My Bet's last of the six. The leader just went on by the quarter pole with a 7-length lead to the top of the short stretch. Grayson's Macho Gal is the leader turning for home. Kissmore is second by a length. And then Sugar Love in third. Lemon Chill is in fourth. Flower House and My Bet's at the back. Final furlong, final 16th for Grayson's Macho Gal. In front for Gabriel Saez. Grayson's Macho Gal just took him gate to wire. Further back, it was Lemon Chill who got up for second, close for third, 138.09.
What a plan came together here on Grayson's Macho Gal. As Kurt Becker pointed out, they were intent on getting the lead. She got the lead. She was several lengths clear of this group, and nobody ever really able to make up any ground on this daughter of Mucho Macho Man as she airs on her return to dirt.
Yeah, I wasn't predicting this, Scott, especially how much speed she showed out of the gate. She's been forwardly placed in her turf races, but did not show any speed in her previous dirt races. But she definitely turned things around today, much the best in race 7.
Photo for show. Hold all tickets. Unofficial results of Keeneland's 7th race. 5, Grayson's Macho Gal first. 1, Lemon Chill was second. 4, My Bets was third. And 6, Flower House was fourth. 5-1, 4-6, unofficial. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's 7th race, the unofficial winner, number 5, Grayson's Macho Gal, owned by the Millard Selden Revocable Trust of Scott Selden, trained by John Ortiz, Gabriel Saez, the winning jockey. Grayson's Macho Gal, a 3-year-old filly by Mucho Macho Man, out of Kitty's Giant by Giant's Causeway, bred in Kentucky by the Millard R. Selden Revocable Trust. 1 mile over the fast main track, 1 minute 38.09 seconds. Results of Keeneland's 7th race official, 5-1-4-6, the official results for race 7. Keeneland's featured 8th upcoming, the Pegasus. An allowance for 3-year-olds and up. Beard course, about 7 furlongs. Main track is listed fast. Starts the last of the day's rolling doubles. No changes in race 8. A reminder, there is a carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot, $54,633. 9th and final race. Remember, that one comes off the turf. Race 9 is off the turf. It goes 1 mile and a 16th on the main track. Scratch the 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. Scratch 3, Incitatus. Scratch the 8, Coastal Waters. Scratch the 11, American Patrol. And also scratch 13 through 16. A reminder, the jockey for the 12, American Tryst, will be Julien Leperoux.
Feature here today at Keeneland, A of the Then Company, entry-level allowance company, going 7 furlongs on the main track. And this will mark the comeback race of Silver State, a 3-year-old son of Hard Spun out of Supreme by Empire Maker, a Keeneland graduate from 2018 that Winchell Thoroughbreds and Willis Horton teamed up on to go to and purchase for $450,000 back in 2018 here at Keeneland. He didn't run a bad race until his run in the Louisiana Derby. His debut at the age of 2 was very impressive when he wasn't all that quick away from the gate, but looped the field, going 6.5 furlongs to win by 9 3/4. This colt is a half to the 4-time sprinting winner, Tilly's Lily, so the pedigree is there in sprinting. Obviously, we've seen him run well sprinting in the past. I look for this horse to return back to the races we saw early in his career here today versus this group off of the lengthy layoff. 7 months is the last time we saw Silver State, and there he is as he emerges from the saddling stalls and looks wonderful for trainer Steve Asmussen. Ricardo Santana Jr. has ridden him each and every time, and he will again here today for the 6th time in his career. The second choice is the 3 Blackberry Wine. He's also coming off of a long layoff, 6 months. Joe Sharp, he's good in these situations. Here's a horse that has flash speed at 2-turn distances and done very well in spots. He was overmatched in the Grade 2 Risen Star, going 1 1/8 and likely doesn't want to go that far. So we'll see where Blackberry Wine is at on this comeback event here at odds of 4-1. And then the 9 horse, who is the third choice and right now the third choice in the wagering, that's Julius for trainer Peter Miller. It's a 5-year-old son of Tappet that they claimed for $20,000 back in July at Del Mar. First time with the barn. He won by 1/2 of a length, and he put together a strong effort, sprinting 6.5 at the end of August at Del Mar. Then shows up at Churchill and ran against a nice horse in Wild Poppet, who always seems to show up at the sprint distances for trainer Randy Morris. But for whatever reason, this gelding just absolutely crumbled late. So we'll see if he can bounce back. If he does, he'll be dangerous, especially Peter Miller, his knack for claiming sprinters and turning them into high-quality horses, much like Mike Maker with the distance turf horses. Peter Miller has done it for years, claiming horses and turning them into graded stakes-type horses like CZ Rocket here in 2020. But, Gabby, we'll see what Silver State's about. If he's anything like he was early on sprinting, this group might be up against it here today in the feature.
Exactly. That is the question. He definitely has the class, but we'll see if he can move forward off of the layoff and with that inside draw and at this particular distance off the layoff. I landed on the 10 horse, Stage Left. I just like the consistency that he comes into this race with. Last time out, he went wire to wire against starter allowance competition up at Saratoga. And I know sometimes when he kind of steps up and faces allowance company, it doesn't always work out so well. But that allowance race at Saratoga was very, very tough. And the pace didn't really come back to him that day. Everfast, the winner, he's grade 1 place. Cool Bobby, a very quality allowance type horse. So for an allowance race, it was typical that of Saratoga. It was very tough. I think this is maybe a more manageable group because some of the major contenders in here, they're just getting going. They're coming off of layoffs. So at least he's got recency and the consistency in form, and he's got a good outside draw for trainer Wesley Ward. That's where I land, but the number 2, Silver State, as Scott mentioned, when you get a precocious horse like the 2, Silver State, and he's doing well, you want to start to stretch him out in distances. You want to see what he can do and how good he is, and potentially maybe he's one that can take you to the Kentucky Derby. Ultimately, it didn't work out for him. I do think that he's probably a better one-turn horse, but he is coming in off of a layoff. I didn't think this is that easy of a field, and he is a closer, so Ricardo Santana Jr. is going to have to navigate a trip from that inside draw. And then finally, the number 3, Blackberry Wine for trainer Joe Sharp. An impressive runner last time out. I wonder, though, how the pace scenario will affect him. He's kind of got an inside draw. Julius, the 9 horse, seems to be the main speed. Off the layoff at 7/8 with an inside draw, I really think he might be up against it. There's no way that Julius, if he breaks cleanly, will be off the pace today. So he could have some company on the front end with the 9 Julius, and we'll see if he can overcome that type of trip here today. But he is a horse that definitely had some class, as he showed earlier this year at Oaklawn. 10-2-3 for me in race 8, the featured event.
horses are on the track for Keeneland's featured 8th. The Pegasus, an allowance for 3-year-olds and up. Baird course, about 7 furlongs over the fast main track. There are no changes in race 8. Starts the last of the day's rolling doubles. Keep in mind that race 9 is off the turf. It will be contested on the main track as well. Carryover for this 8th race for the Super High 5 jackpot, $54,633. Post time in 5 minutes.
Featured event is in front of us, 4 minutes to post, so the window is closing of opportunity to play this race. We'll start with the one that is Branco Maria for Mike Stidham in the Phoenix Thoroughbreds Limited, a colt by Candy Ride. He looked good coming out. He's a huge price right now, but like the way that he's acting out there as he warms up with Declan Carroll, 46-1, one to consider underneath in these prices, big prices that we have in this field. The 2 Silver State, he came out like an old pro, like he hadn't missed a beat. Even though it's been 7 months since we've seen this Keeneland graduate, son of Hardspun, compete. He's stakes placed multiple times over down at the fairgrounds as he gets set to make his Keeneland debut. 5-2, he remains the favorite, just slightly ahead of the number 3 horse, Blackberry Wine. The number 6 horse, Trident Hit for Brendan Walsh. Much like Silver State on debut, that was his only other sprint race, and he was able to overcome a tardy start to loop the field and win by a nose at Churchill Downs as well. So you got to respect his style going 7 furlongs, and he's at least got recent races under his belt, and he looked well out there, the son of Tiz Now, another Keeneland graduate, this for Walsh Racing. He is currently sitting at 15-1 on the tote board. And then Santos Dumont, another one for Asmussen, he looked well out there, 18-1 with Gabe Saez.
Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's 8th and featured race, the Pegasus Julep Cup. They are at the post. And they're off. Iadanza comes out running for the lead. Stage left is there toward the outside. And there's Julius in between that pair as well. These three and Blackberry Wine to join them. And Atone's going to have some speed early on as well as they head up the back stretch now. Here's Blackberry Wine up to put ahead in front as Julius goes second on the outside by a length and a half. Atone is in third. Iadanza is fourth in between horses. Stage left is fifth out in the center of the track. Silver State sixth back toward the rail. Santos Dumont is in seventh. Break of three to Chase Tracker, who is in the eighth position. As they enter the far turn, Branco Maria is in ninth. Uber Kirk is 10th. Break of 5 more lengths back to Trident Hit, who trails. Opening quarter in 22.24 seconds. Around the far turn, Julius from the outside has a head in front. Blackberry Wine fights on second to the inside by a length and a half. Atone is third. Santos Dumont is fourth. Stage left has to go wide from fifth at the top of the stretch. Still 4 lengths from the lead. Julius a narrow lead. Blackberry Wine is there along with Atone down to the inside. Stage left and Silver State bursting through. Silver State just comes running right on between horses, and Ricardo Santana Jr. takes a quick peek over his shoulder and says, "So long." Past the 16th pole, Silver State has shaken clear. Late run from Uber Kirk and Trident Hit. No catching Silver State, who has won it. It was Trident Hit up for second. Uber Kirk was across the line in third.
He's back. Silver State off the 7-month layoff absolutely rambles home at odds of 5-2. He had the setup, Gabby, and once he gets out in the clear, it is game over under Ricardo Santana Jr.
And there were a couple of horses who were vying for that lead position, so really helping have a fast pace in this race. This horse just sitting a very patient trip under Ricardo Santana Jr., but all considering the layoff, this was a superb performance today. Looking forward to what's in store for this horse moving forward, but congratulations to the Connections on an impressive victory here in the 8th.
Unofficial results of Keeneland's featured eighth. 2 Silver State was first. 6 Trident Hit was second. 5 Uber Kirk was third. 10 Stage Left was fourth. 9 Julius fifth. 265-10-9 unofficial. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's featured eighth, the Pegasus Julep Cup. The unofficial winner, number 2, Silver State, owned by Winchell Thoroughbreds LLC of Ron Winchell, owned by Willis Horton Racing LLC of Willis Horton. Trained by Steve Asmussen. 3 wins today for Ricardo Santana Jr. Silver State, a 3-year-old son of Hard Spun, out of Supreme by Empire Maker, bred in Kentucky by Stone Street Thoroughbred Holdings LLC. Keeneland September sales graduate gets the Beard course about 7 furlongs over the fast main track in 1 minute 26.12 seconds. And the results are official for Keeneland's 8th race. 265-10-9, the official results for the 8th. Keeneland's 9th and final race upcoming. Race 9 comes off the turf, goes 1 mile and a 16th on the main track, which is listed fast. This race will finish in the short stretch at the first wire. Scratch 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. Scratch 3, Incitatus. Scratch 8, Coastal Waters. Scratch 11, American Patrol. And also scratch 13, 14, 15, and 16. A reminder, the jockey for the 12 American Tryst will be Julien Leperoux. There will be a carryover for the Super High Five jackpot, $57,570. Race 9, mile and a 16th, main track, coming up.
Final race of this Thursday afternoon, 2-year-old maidens on the main track, as this race has been taking off the turf course. Main track has remained fast throughout the course of the afternoon. And the number 2, 3, 8, 11, 13, 14, 15, and 16 all withdrawn. Fighting Force, the number 4 horse, a colt by Air Force Blue, who on debut was second to a runner by the name of 2nd of July at Belmont Park. 2nd of July in that race was 68-1 wins, and then he comes back again at a price in the Grade 3 Futurity Stakes and is now a Grade 3 winner at Belmont Park. So needless to say, he was up against a very nice runner, and this colt remains in this race with this surface switch to the main track. I don't see it as being an issue. He's by Air Force Blue, by Warfront, the son of Warfront, and Warfronts have found a lot of versatility here as of late in thoroughbred horse racing, and this colt comes from a Smart Strike mare. So any improvement here today, and I think that you'll see a step forward off of that race, as he was a bit wide in that race. I think that Ricardo Santana Jr. has got another big opportunity here today on what has been a productive afternoon for Ricardo, as he just took the featured race with Silver State back in race number 8. So 2-1 on Fighting Force, my top selection for the Coolmore Connections. The number 7 horse at 5-2, that's the second choice here. That is When True for trainer Brad Cox, a Tourist colt out of a Tappet mare by the name of Wicked Temper. Tourist, known for his Grade 1 victory in the Breeders' Cup Mile. That was obviously on grass, but he's by Tiz Now is Tourist, so we'll see if that comes through here this afternoon. He showed good speed in that Kentucky Downs race, and he ran into a next out winner, a next out stakes winner in Catman, and Florent Giroux keeps on rolling right here at Keeneland Racecourse, and this is a team that we've seen be very productive over the course of this meet, Florent Giroux and Brad Cox. So 5-2, not far off the favorite in this spot. And then finally, Brendan Walsh's Ethical Judgment. This is a well-bred colt, a Keeneland graduate from the 2019 September sale. Actually a half-brother to the runner-up in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies Turf in best performance. But this colt, you can see why, based on that pedigree, they tried him on turf for the first time. But by Honor Code known for his exploits on the dirt. Watch out for Ethical Judgment if he wakes up. This is a very competitive race, Gabby. Bottom line, 2-year-olds, horses with promise. It's a matter of who's going to take to the dirt here today, and obviously what kind of trip they're going to be able to carve out for themselves on the dirt in 15 minutes.
Exactly. Who's going to take to the dirt, and also who will take to this particular distance. I went with the fitness angle, the 7 When True, as the top selection here, because I do think that he got a lot out of his debut going the mile at Kentucky Downs. The turf was a little bit on the softer side, and he had to make the first move into a pace that collapsed that day. The top finisher, Private Island, he would close from off of the pace to win, and then even Catman, the second place finisher in there, he would come back to win the Laurel Futurity, getting a 71 buyer speed figure for that win too. So not only was it a good race, but this horse also had to make that first move into a pace that collapsed, and I just think he did a lot of the dirty work in that race. And at a mile at Kentucky Downs with, kind of a arduous turf course, I do think that he should be fit and ready to go to stretch out to a mile and a 16th here today. Now, the 4 Fighting Force, there's no doubt about his talent. I'm not questioning that. But when you stretch out from 3/4 to a mile and a 16th on the turf, sometimes horses have a little bit of an easier go with that type of move. It's a kinder surface. You don't have to be as fit to do it. Whereas on the main track, it can be a little bit more trying. So the 4 Fighting Force, it's not so much that I don't think he's going to like the surface today. It's whether or not he should be 100% ready to go at a mile and a 16th. But one thing that is a feather in his cap is that he is not slow. He's pretty quick. So he very well could be one of the pace setters in here, or at least forwardly placed in this race for trainer Todd Pletcher. And then finally, the number 1 Ethical Judgment. He didn't show much speed out of the gate, and the problem with him when watching his last race on the turf at Churchill Downs, it took him a long time to get going, and sometimes, again, horses have a little bit of an easier go of it on the turf course to get the wheels turning. I just wonder if he's going to run out of real estate today, and if he gets the right type of pace flow in front of him to close into. So the 1 Ethical Judgment on the board right now at 7-2. This is I think a quality group of maiden special weight horses. I think The favorite in here at the 7, also the 4 Fighting Force. These two are very, very nice horses. It's a question of who's going to be able to be fully prepared to get a mile and a 16th and who's going to be okay on the dirt. But a good group of maidens here for the nightcap. They're going to be heading to the main track at a mile and a 16th. We are 13 minutes out from the finale.
Horses are entering the track for Keeneland's ninth and final race. Hurricane Hills, maiden special for 2-year-olds in a race that comes off the turf. Goes a mile and a 16th over the fast main track. Scratch the 2, Kentucky Pharaoh. Scratch 3, Incitatus. Scratch 8, Coastal Waters. Also scratch 11, American Patrol. And scratch 13 through 16. A reminder, the jockey for the 12, American Tryst, is Julien Leperoux. Carryover, Super High 5 jackpot, $57,570. Post time at 6 minutes.
Just 5 minutes away from the ninth and final today, with 2-year-olds rounding things out on the main track. And the one-horse Ethical Judgment, good-looking horse out there. He's 3-1 right now, taking some play, is the son of Honor Code. Just really liked everything about the way that he looked when he came through the tunnel with his rider, Tyler Gaffleone. Got to expect that this horse should be able to build off of his debut race, going a mile and a 16th on the turf course. And with that pedigree, dirt shouldn't be an issue. Nice-looking colt by Honor Code is Ethical Judgment, the half to a Breeders' Cup runner by the name of Best Performance. The number 5 horse, another one that looked well for Ian Wilkes, Hard Rye Guy, a son of Hard Spun. Here's another dirt pedigree that has yet to try dirt, and he should be fit to go. They're going to add blinkers to this son of Hard Spun off of 3 runs, 1 at Ellis and 2 very close to one another at Kentucky Downs. So don't sleep on the number 5 horse, Hard Rye Guy, who is currently sitting at 10-1. And then finally, Louisville Legend for Jimmy Baker, a son of Broken Vow, another one with a dirt-type pedigree, one that could take a step forward. Miguel Mena gets the opportunity in here. Thought that he made a nice appearance coming through the tunnel out onto the track. 4 minutes away from 2-year-olds going long on the main track. This will round out what has been a very productive Thursday card here at Keeneland.
Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's ninth and final race. The Hurricane Hills at a mile and a 16th on the main track. First wire. They are at the post. They're off. There goes Fighting Force for the lead. Burrow has early speed as well. Fighting Force and Burrow come to the front together in the opening strides. Tamaransit goes third up on the outside here early on. Win True is fourth between horses. Ethical Judgment fifth down toward the inside. Hard Ride Guy is in sixth. American Tryst is seventh. Louisville Legend is last of the eight. They head around the first turn, and Burrow is the leader. Burrow against the rail, leading it by a length. Win True goes second by a length and a half. Tamaransit is up on the outside in the third position by just a neck. Fighting Force has been shuffled back into the fourth position against the rail. Ethical Judgment, fifth up on the outside. Hard Ride Guy, American Tryst, gap of six more back to Louisville Legend. Opening quarter went in 23.88 seconds. And the leader, midpoint of the backstretch, is Burrow. First half mile went 48.46. So Burrow leads Win True only by a half length to the far turn. Tamaransit is third up on the far outside and starting to join that front pair now. Ethical Judgment is fourth, still five from the lead, going to be caught wide on the turn. Fighting Force looks for running room fifth down toward the inside, picks up a couple of positions there, but will need more running room. In the meantime, Ethical Judgment is gearing up on the far outside at the quarter pole to put ahead in front. Ethical Judgment outside, Burrow on the inside. These two fighting for the lead off the far turn. Then a gap of five to Tamaransit in third. Fighting Force is in fourth. Hard Ride Guy is in fifth. Ethical Judgment, a narrow lead from Burrow in the final furlong, and Ethical Judgment opens up now by two. Burrow is second. Gap of seven more then back to Fighting Force, Hard Ride Guy, and Tamaransit. But Ethical Judgment wins the nightcap for Tyler Gaffalione. Burrow was across the line in second.
With the race under his belt on the turf course here today, moves over to the dirt, and Ethical Judgment puts together a strong performance. The Keeneland graduate, son of honor code for Phoenix Thoroughbreds, and trainer Brendan Walsh.
He did this pretty easily today. I wonder what Brendan Walsh will do moving forward, as this horse ran really well first time out on the turf, and he certainly looks capable on the main track as well. A good-looking finish coming down the stretch. He gets the victory at 5-2 with Tyler Gaffalione in the irons. Congratulations, trainer Brendan Walsh in the nightcap.
Photo for fourth. Hold all tickets. Unofficial results of Keeneland's ninth race. 1 Ethical Judgment first. 9 Burrow second. 4 Fighting Force was third. 5 Hard Rye Guy was fourth. 10 Tammin Rassett was fifth. 194-510 unofficial. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's ninth, the Hurricane Hills, the unofficial winner, number 1 Ethical Judgment, owned by Phoenix Thoroughbred 3 Limited of Amer Abdulaziz Ahmed, trained by Brendan Walsh, jockey Tyler Gaffalione. Ethical Judgment, a 2-year-old son of honor code out of Give My Regards by Smart Strike. Winner bred in Kentucky by Mercedes Stables LLC. Keeneland sales grad gets the mile and a 16th over the fast main track in 1 minute 46.15 seconds. Ninth race results official, 194-510. The official results for Keeneland's ninth. At Keeneland, no perfect tickets in the pick six today. There is a consolation 5 of 6. Carry over $13,817 for tomorrow's card for the pick six. There will also be a carryover for the Super High Five jackpot, $60,348. The late pick 5 pays on 5 of 5 with a consolation 4 of 5. With the conclusion of today's Keeneland races, simulcast wagering will be ending and the mutual windows closing. If you plan to wager on any remaining races for today, please do so at this time. For now, on behalf of Keeneland, thank you and good evening.
Fast and Furious action here on this Thursday, and it was unseasonably warm weather here in central Kentucky at Keeneland Racecourse as we touched low 80s as far as the temperature. It was a sunny, beautiful day and fast-paced action in the featured event. Off of an 8-month layoff, we saw a son of hard spun, a Keeneland graduate named Silver State, with a big comeback race for Winchell Thoroughbreds and Willis Horton Racing, trained by Steve Asmussen and Ricardo Santana Jr. Also in our lone turf event of the afternoon, Artie's Rumor, another Mike Maker claim turned into an allowance winner, was able to take that 6th race. We'll have 2 races on the turf remaining here on this meeting, one tomorrow and one on Saturday. Just 2 races left and a pretty big pick 6 carryover going into tomorrow's card. We'll get things underway tomorrow at 1:05 as we've got 2 race days left during this fall meet.